Well, good evening. It's Randy Small, Whatcom County weather, and I am live here tonight from my office. Thought I would just start out with sharing the live stream in Leavenworth, Washington tonight. We kind of let more people join up here and kind of check things out. Hopefully, you can see that YouTube video of it snowing in Leavenworth. We're going to do a mountain update. We're going to do a Thanksgiving forecast update. We'll look at how much rain we've gotten today. Alex and good evening. Keith, those two are as faithful at being on YouTube every night as they are. And I think both of them may have been on Benjamin's earlier. I was also watching. I know Alex was on it. I'm not sure if Keith was, but they like to follow the weather. They're loyal people here. I'm gonna take the URL link from the YouTube and drop it in the Facebook comments. And just before I get started, but you can continue to kind of look at that snow there as I do this. But welcome everybody as you're getting joining in here. We're grateful that you are able to watch here tonight. So just appreciate it, and I think I dropped that link in there on the live stream on Facebook. So again, this is Leavenworth, Washington tonight. Most of you are familiar with that, of course, and it's just a beautiful night. One of their pretty much first snowfall, I think, of the winter time, and they do have some of their lights on here, and in fact, if I play around with this, I escape back out of this, we can even look at some of the other cameras that they have going on, and then we'll show you a mountain pass update. But I told you that we were going to see some snow up in the mountains tonight or this afternoon, and we've got some over in Leavenworth as well there as you come over Highway 2, and so it's pretty cool to see that. Here. Hopefully you can catch that just a little bit more there in Leavenworth. Just beautiful here tonight. We got Cheryl joining. Good evening. And Benjamin, who just finished his live stream over in, well, he's up on Stevens Pass, probably heading back. But he had a lot of people following him tonight. And I was on there along with a few of you who are joining us tonight. So if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in either chat. Make sure you like both streams, either one, whichever one you're on them, or both of them. And then also subscribe. We're up to 333 subscribers. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but we're closing in on 500. So we're trying to get there. And then, of course, you can, the more you watch, the better it is. So let's take a look at a couple of the past. And let me just make sure that I will be able to get this up for you. Just 1 second here as I switch of views here. Hopefully you can see Snoqualmie Pass there brought up on the stream here. And looking here at about 9:13 p.m. I know this is about a minute behind here, but it looks like there's definitely snow there at the East Snoqualmie Summit. I came over this twice on Saturday, one going east and one coming west, and it was clear sailing, but clear, it looks like snow. Can't tell if it's, you know, compact snow, but it does say snow and slush. It is snowing. There's traction tires required westbound and eastbound, and then chains on the big rigs, it looks like. So they're not requiring chains on every vehicle yet, or at this point, as far as I can tell. Updated at 8 o'clock. I could check Twitter and just see if there's any changes to that. But just kind of looking here at some of the different cameras, well, they are not wanting to show off very well. Let's take a look at Stevens Pass here. And Stevens, well, it's Stevens Pass has at least 11 inches. And I know Ben and Washington Weather Chasers on his live stream tonight, I think he had it at least 11 inches here. I'm kind of trying to refresh these to see if there's even a little bit more. But it looks like they at least have around a foot up at Stevens Pass here. And let me see if they're official. And I'm not honestly sure which one on Stevens Pass is the right one to look at here, because they have a couple different. I'm just going to pick the ski area here and see if I can. I'm not sure if you can see that very well. I think you can. But doesn't, yeah, this one doesn't show any snow height. Let's check this other one here and see if they have recorded any. It should be the same as what's, yeah, they had at 21 o'clock, they had 9 inches. But again, I don't know where that is in relationship to the snowboard here. Okay, I got the snowboard refreshed now. It is at 13, just about up to 13, between a foot and 13 inches. Hopefully you can see that there. They have about, yeah, at least a foot at Stevens Pass, and I think this board was clear when I looked at it this morning. So that is a good, excellent, and hopefully we won't lose too much of that. We'll have to check that out. And here is Stevens Pass. You can see, I know it's dark, but you can kind of see the snow on the ground there. And there's another picture of the West Summit. And I believe there was snow all the way down. Yep, Cole's Corner has it there by the 49er Diner. Or is that what it's called? 89er Diner, 69. I don't know what number it is. But anyway, Cole's Corner definitely has snow. And then as you go west Stevens Pass, it's just the camera must be pointed kind of in a weird angle there. So we are definitely seeing snow at both those passes. And again, we could look at other passes. I guess we can take a quick look at White Pass to see if what they might have here. Let me see if I can pull you up. Looks like they got snow at White Pass as well. Not sure Blewett will have much. Well, it's showing that it's snowing, at least where the camera is. So I'm not sure. Again, that camera looks like it's in the middle of nowhere. So anyway, we see these passes having snow. I was going to check the North Cascade, but I don't know if that camera is working. So I know there was a question about Highway 20 earlier. And yeah, sometimes these cameras on Highway 20 have problems. Let's just say that. So anyway, I think that's enough. You see that what we called for last night has pretty well happened. I think Snoqualmie maybe took a little bit later. Obviously, they're lower. It took a little bit longer to get going, but Stevens was going since about 9 o'clock this morning or maybe 10 o'clock, something like that, and you can see that result. So that's the mountain snow update. So hopefully, I know my niece did get over Snoqualmie tonight. She was probably having more problems of traffic, not at Snoqualmie Pass, but from I think there was just heavy traffic on 405 or just I can't remember what my sister said, but she was having a quite the time getting from Seattle up north. So on a holiday kind of starting the holiday weekend traffic, and then tomorrow, okay, 59er Diner, but. Yeah, just the same old thing, and Thanksgiving traffic is one of the worst around here. I did that Linden to Portland about 15 years ago, and it took like 8 hours, and it was horrible on a Wednesday before Thanksgiving, so really don't like repeating that. I was going to take a look at the Whistler webcams. It was snowing earlier up here at Whistler across the border, and it looks like it still is, assuming this is live, and it looks like it's dark. Now, looks like they have a couple of inches. The right side centimeters, the left side's inches. And it looks like it's about the 2-inch mark. So it looks like they have, as best I can tell here. And then the snow level, I saw this earlier. And this is when I was up at Whistler, I took a selfie on this webcam and then saved that screenshot. But the snow levels were pretty low. And this is about 2,200 feet. Or 675 meters. But the snow level earlier when I could see it was pretty low. So again, it wasn't all the way down to the 2,200 foot. But I suspect that snow levels were 1,700, 1,800, 1,900. I mean, it was pretty cold today and pretty low, I gotta believe. So let's go ahead and take a look at our observations for this day. So I'm gonna switch off and over to that. Yeah, well, that's Whatcom County weather. But I do have this. Hopefully you can see that hazards viewer up now. And continuing to kind of work out some of the bugs on this. And so anyway, hopefully this won't be too big of a deal here as I continue to switch. Keith says he has about a half an inch of rain over by James in Alabama, and he's heading over. Looks like he's going to be moving near the airport coming up. So, and we'll take a look at these rain totals here in just a second. But let's look. We are pretty much all in the 40s. You know what? I'm gonna take a look at the max high temps here in just a minute. But everybody is pretty well sitting in the 40s, maybe a single 39 there on the west side of Lake Whatcom. Of course, up in the foothills and mountains, it's cooler, and we got some 30s, and up at the ski area, it looks like it's well, 32. Went flying past it. 32 up at the ski area, and we'll confirm that in just a minute. Let's take a look at the max temps for today. And look at this. Here are basically the high temps. These could be rounded off 1 degree because most of this is Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion, which can cause a rounding error without getting too much into that. The high temp at the airport was 43 today. And the low was 37. Linden didn't get above 41, at least according to this. 42 in Ferndale, 42 up in Blaine, 41 in the Cedarville area, 43 in Bellingham, 44 maybe. And then this crazy gauge down there by the tracks south of Fairhaven off of Chuckanut is always warmer. And it's 46. Again, I think they're in kind of a warmer area. 44 out on Lummi Island. And then the max high was 32 at the ski area. So there you go. We'll talk a little more about that in just a second about the max temps. Here is the precip till 9 o'clock from today. Now, this doesn't include anything from last night, which I guess I could throw up the 24-hour. And I'm not sure that's going to change, but let me just see here. Let me put the 24-hour. Pretty much is the same as far as I can tell. Except, well, maybe Sumas had a little bit of rain prior. But here is today's precip. Not quite a half an inch at the airport. About a half an inch in Linden and Ferndale-ish, kind of mid-county. 0.62 in Everson. Half an inch up in the Deming area. A half an inch on Lake Whatcom. Jennifer wants the high temps in the 20s. Hey, I can speak to that. My sister-in-law was here today. They're heading to Minneapolis tomorrow. And I think the high temp on Monday, they're coming back Monday, or Tuesday next week, is like going to be 16. And they were under a winter storm warning for blowing snow, 4 to 8 inches of snow, and up to 45-mile-an-hour winds. So, yeah, let me take a look at the precip amounts in Skagit and kind of up across the border here. Make sure you can see that. I'm going to zoom in a little bit to Mount Vernon area and the Skagit. And it looks like we got 0.39 at the airport today. That's a good amount. 0.51 at our Chuckanut I-5 station. And then, yeah, I mean, it's pretty similar amounts. And then across the border here, we're seeing maybe a little less, but similar amounts, I suppose. A little bit less. I wish we had some more stations, and I can pull up some reporting stations across the border, I'm sure, and find this. But I wish I could see more. But right in the Surrey Langley, we're kind of empty here for at least on this NOAA map. So as we have some empty spots on our side too. But it is what it is. We can pull up Kokoraz and we can look at Tempest stations and other things. But yes, I have 0.01 more than you, Jen. Yes, 0.48 on my station. This is Jennifer's at 0.47. So let's look down south how they did on precip. And let me just see. Looks like a little bit of a rain shadow here, right in this maybe area, kind of Everett or close to the water here. And then, but yeah, a little bit less. SeaTac, maybe 1/10 of an inch or so. Over on the peninsula, yeah, the normal Squim area is pretty well dry. You know, good amounts for a November day. Not crazy, but, you know, a good storm. And let me just real quick show the radar here. And I will grab that here in just a second. I think it will be up right there. And the radar here is lightened up compared to what it is, but still shower activity hanging around, as you can see, both Whatcom and Skagit. And then up across the border here is a little bit of activity as we take a look. I mean, more, you know, as you go, I guess, is this up the Strait of Georgia here? But I forget which strait. I know the Strait of Georgia is also down here, but up there. And then, yeah, there's definitely some precip as you go northwest of Vancouver. But and then this is probably precip going up in the mountains here and up Highway 2. Again, the radar, sometimes getting a radar up in the mountains, a read on that, it can be difficult at times. So, and we can switch radars and play around with it. Let me just see. Let me put it on the Seattle or the Camino Island. There you go. So, and we could change this to, let me see if I can do precipitation. And so, now this may not be 100% accurate, but you get an idea. The blue is snow, okay? And you can see, Snoqualmie Pass, here's Leavenworth, and highway I don't know if highway, there's I-90, I'm not sure. Let's see where highway 2 is, right here. It's kind of obliterated by the snow or the blue, but this is snow, and you can see that what we talked about last night is kind of where it's snowing. And then again, we'll take a look at, see if Mount Baker got any snow today. I think they probably got a little bit. I'm gonna quick switch this radar back to the Half Moon Peak one from off the way up northwest there of Vancouver. And again, it's really hard for any radar to pick up the mountains of Whatcom County. And so, yeah. Now, there it goes. Again, just not really picking up anything. And of course, it may not be precipitating. We'll check that in just a second, even up in the mountains. So I'll check comments in just a minute. Hopefully everybody is hearing me fine. Let me switch back here to looking at the hazard viewer here, or our observations, and let's keep going here. Let's take a look real quick at the update for the month. So we are now over a half an inch, but I think that was about the same as yesterday because it was only a trace. That's right. So we will add another 0.44 to that. So we will be over 6 inches. So that's for the Bellingham Airport. Now, the high was that, what did we say the high of the airport was? Did I say it was 43 here earlier? 43 appears to be the max temp. Let's take a look at something. I don't think this is going to be a record. I'm hoping that you can see this. And I'm pulling up a viewer here just a second. I kind of want to look at the almanac for the day at the airport. So 1 second here. Let me see. Hopefully you are able to see this. You may not see the far left on this screen, but that's okay. So the record max temperature is, let's see, record high, lowest max temperature is 26 for November 25th at the airport. So we're not even close to that. But the normal high is 49. So we were finally well under that. And then the record low was 15 in 93. The record high max is 60, well off of that pace. And the record minimum high is 50 from 1963. That's crazy. So max temp is min temp's sister? I don't know. Max temp, yep, max temp. That's Alex asking who max temp is. But if you know Alex, he likes to, he's good at dad jokes. But Alex is my great neighbor, so average precipitation is 0.16. So nowhere close to a record, but well under the average. 8 degrees or 6 degrees under the average. So that'll bump this down. Now we're down to 2.4 degrees above normal for the high, and we're now under 2 for the low average, 2 degrees above normal for the low temp. High temp is about 2.4, but that'll come down probably about to 2 degrees. So where we started out quite warm, we're going to kind of end more on the cooler side, it appears like. Let's take a look at the ski area tonight. I'm going to hit the refresh button because we've got another 9 o'clock hour there. We got the 9 o'clock hour to add in. And it is all been below freezing until now. It's 32 at the ski area. Right now, 30 at Pan Dome. And we have some precipitation, 0.36, okay? If this number's right, it's trying to show that it has about 4 inches of snow, which would kind of match that 0.31. So they maybe got 3 to 4 inches of snow at the ski area today, which was probably not bad considering I wasn't sure they would get a whole lot. So that was good. I know that it showed, I think the Euro maybe showed a little bit, but that at least they got something up there. but now it's starting to warm a little bit here, and we'll see what the temps hold for tomorrow as well. Okay, let me pause before I take a look at what's coming up. And I think I've gone through most of the comments here on the YouTube. So let me, again, make sure you like, and you the more you watch, the better we are. But like, follow, subscribe. That's the word. Subscribe. Hit the little bell so you know when we're going to be on. And if you can do that, that helps a lot. Okay, I'm checking some messages here while I check also the Facebook link here and see if there's any comments before I keep going. Looks like there's a little buffering issue potentially on YouTube. So thank you, Carol, for the stars, and Lena also for the stars. Appreciate that. Okay. Yeah, Jennifer was talking about some lag there on the YouTube when I was looking at the road cams, and I think that some of those links seem to have some issues, like the refresh of those cameras on that causes some issues. So, yeah, maybe I'll try to do a search on that and see if there's other people that have had problems like looking at like refreshing cameras, so to speak, and if that causes lag. So we'll take a look at that. We're trying to keep this going well here as best we can. Okay, I think we have gone through the comments. But yes, don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch hours. Let it run. Even if you're not listening to the whole thing, put it up on the big screen. Play your Christmas music, or not yet, excuse me. Not till after Thanksgiving. Play whatever music you want, and then just let the YouTube run, and mute me if you have to, if I'm boring. But anyway, the more hours we get. I am planning on setting up a live stream camera. I'm actually going to test it out, I hope, soon. I have, and if you go to my YouTube, let me pull this up real quick. If you go to Whatcom County Weather on YouTube, which is where a lot of you are watching this tonight, and I just switched our new logo as well there, so Whatcom County Weather, cut off a little bit of it, kind of updated things, but if you go, say, a couple of birds in the snow video, they are not from this year, they are from 2017. I'm not sure if you can see this, but hopefully you can. I don't think there's really much sound to this one. There's just a little bit of snow falling here. And hopefully that's not up too loud and causing any problems on your ears. Hopefully you can see that. Can you all see the snow video? And then I'm going to forward it, and you'll start seeing some birds on the ground down here. Can everybody see that? Is it coming in? I know of it might be cut off just because of the way I have this set up. But hopefully you can see that. I'll even make it full screen. But I'm thinking about setting up a live stream camera when it snows from the same area with the birds. I get a ton of birds here. This is my bird feeders, and actually don't have a hummingbird feeder up in it right now. But the hummingbirds, when they used to come a few years ago, they would come in the snow, and then I keep my bird bath with water and keep trying to thaw it out. And I got all these bird feeders, and it's a lot of fun. You see 100 birds out here, or 50 birds at a time in the snow. And I may set up a camera. Okay, let me pull this back and just kind of stop this. Because it may, again, running videos off of this and cameras might be causing some issue. But I'm thinking about running a live stream of just the birds feeding at my feeders, just to kind of test it out for people to watch it and just get a preparation for snow if we get some snow this year. So if you want to watch that, that's on the YouTube channel. You can even watch it. It's pretty fun to watch. And then I also have one, and again, I might have some problems with that lag. That's what I'm hearing. Excuse me. And this one doesn't have sound, and I'll probably have some issues here. But here is a see if I can find that place where that bird came into my and this is a there it is. Okay, back here it is, right? But this is a time lapse of the birds in the snow, and it's kind of fun. But look how much snow I had on the ground. I just kind of put my camera close to the ground on a little stand and had this snow and all the birds, and it's kind of fun. I just made a time lapse out of it. Obviously, they're eating it, drinking fast, but there you go. So anyway, if you want to watch that, those are both on the channel right here under videos. I'm still expanding this. Of course, we got our lives. I'm live right now, and here's some of the live streams. Thank you for those who've watched. We've had some good numbers, especially early last week's one. We had a really good number of people watching. So the more people that watch, that's going to help our numbers. So, okay, let's head over and look at the weather models coming up here. So I'm going to get that. Hopefully you can see the weather model up there now. And if I do any comparison, last night we had some cutoff issues when I compared the two weather models. And I will try to just fully hit my display, my whole monitor. I've tried to cut this so you guys can see this better, and I am getting better at learning this. So let's take a look at tonight's weather models. I'm just going to actually refresh a couple just a second here. We'll try to watch the Euro here in a little bit. But it should be coming out. That's why I'm starting a little bit later. But here's tonight's 0Z Euro. You guys are starting to learn how we do this, I think. But we've got our kind of our little system that this ridge just couldn't keep it away today, and this system was coming in. We've got this, and I think they're having snow. Well, here's the Minnesota snow. And I think they're going to have like a blizzard type snow in maybe Michigan, parts of Michigan. And you can see that big upper level low just flying through, and there it goes up to the, we talked about it up into the Maritimes if you've been watching this. So thank you, Fake Lady May. Appreciate that for letting me know, because that's helpful that you can still see and hear and everything with the stream. Okay, here comes our little system for Thanksgiving Day right here back to the Pacific Northwest. Again, we're looking at a 500 millibar way up in the bird's eye view of North America, but with that way you can kind of see lots of things that are going on around this side of the globe, so to speak. And we've got the eastern U.S. here on Thanksgiving Day, at least part of it, going to be in probably fairly iceboxed, so to speak. And again, we could dig in temps and look at that. Down here, we've got New Mexico, Texas, looking like they got a little bit of a ridge. This ridge is, somewhat not very strong at the moment. But let's fast forward. Here we go into Friday. Okay, here comes this kind of Alaskan or Gulf of Alaska ridge. Got kind of this whole eastern North America, basically from way up here all the way down here in either an upper level low troughiness pattern. So and over here we have this ridge. We got some cold that's trying to shift to the southwest. This ridge is way too close. And okay, now it starts probably maybe to retrograde, and here comes a little trough. Again, this is next week, starting the next week. And again, that spins down into California, and then this ridge just kind of sits. This would probably bring some inversion weather, which could bring some foggy pea soup days, potentially. Again, gonna have to look into that on the surface details, but if this starts showing up more, and we got cold in the east, northeast, upper Midwest, maybe next week, and look at this, big time cold probably, or potential for some snow with this. Again, I know this started showing up earlier today on the 12Z runs, but that's kind of a change, I would say. Meanwhile, up here, things start breaking down. A ridge kind of regurgitates, and not a whole lot of maybe some cold air and maybe some Fraser River outflow, but nothing that's on this run showing anything that's like, we have lowland cold snap or something like that coming. Let's take a look at the 0Z rain map. By the way, last night we were discussing which one's going to win out, GFS today or the Euro, and I would say the Euro won out. The GFS finally caught up later today on the weather model for rain. We just had more rain than the GFS wanted to give us, as we saw advertised by almost a half an inch at the airport. That was closer to the Euro. Okay, let's put this into motion. Looks like some more rain overnight, possibly on this run here. And then let's see what happens here as we go into Thursday. And my viewer is acting slow here. Let me see if I can refresh this just a second. Okay, and yeah, my kids must be all watching stuff online here because things are being a little bit slow here. So 1 second while this refreshes. Okay, let's see if that loads better. Technical difficulties. Okay, as we come into Thanksgiving Day, definitely showing rain on the GFS as well. Friday looks like it's could be mostly dry, and there's that ridge that we just talked about. Saturday might be not a bad weekend overall. So that's kind of what the GFS is showing. We'll take a look as we go into Sunday. It's not showing any rain for Sunday either, and then maybe some rain starting next week. So rain off and on tomorrow at times, not probably as near as much as today, at least on this run. And Thanksgiving Day is definitely got some rain. Okay, so let's take a look at the snow map. And this is for tonight. This is, yeah, again, showing more snow coming to the Cascades. Let's see, when is it showing this? Later tomorrow. That's good. So it looks like we're seeing some more snow showing up tomorrow. This is tonight's snow, so to speak. And this is just an approximate. Okay, so it looks like some more snow for those mountains coming, especially, the same areas that got hit today. And then not a lot for the North Cascades. Here comes some more next week for the North Cascades, and possibly some up here. But again, this is a GFS, and this is a low-res model. But it gives us an idea as well. So hopefully that snow, at least in these mountains, will happen. I'm not sure about this up in the Northeast and in the panhandle of Idaho. So let's take a look at the Euro. I'm going to show you a couple other things tonight. We'll take a look. Oh yeah, we got to look at outflow. We'll take at winds in just a moment here. But let's take a look. The Euro is beginning to come out. So let me take a look at that. Okay. Let me make sure everything is still working. You can still see the Euro. Okay, here's the Euro tonight. It's partway out here. So here we go with this upper level low that we talked about as we go into Thanksgiving. Coming on Thanksgiving, you can see that. I'm backing it up and going forward, but it's right here. And then let's see what happens. Here comes the cold air east of the Rockies. Here's our ridge on Saturday. Let's see, and here's some cold, maybe some cold in the eastern portions of the state coming over the weekend, and even probably a little bit for us. I'm just going to see if this ridge retrogrades up to Alaska. See how it does that? And that opens the door sometimes to let cold air down, kind of up over it, so to speak. But it's just, this ridge is just too far east. And that's about as far as I'm going to go tonight on that, or at least for now. Let's take a look at the rain map for the Euro here tonight. Let's just see what they're advertising for precip on the 0Z. So they are advertising a little more precip overnight, a little bit more on Wednesday. So about another 0.20 or so of an inch. More precip down in Oregon. And then here comes our Thursday system. So definitely advertising precip on Thursday. It's probably a little wetter than the GFS again. So I often will take the Euro over the GFS. And you can see where a lot of this precip is centered in Southwest Washington. We've been talking about this on a lot of the live streams in Northwest Oregon. And as we push into Friday, where it looks like we're dry Friday. And then maybe not much for Saturday. And then later on the day, it wants to rain on Saturday. So that's a little different than what the GFS had. And I can show you that on a comparison, but just trust me, because that's a little bit farther out than I want to talk about yet for rain, but there is definitely a discrepancy between the Euro and the GFS later on Saturday. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Let's take a look at the Euro for snow. Again, this is a low-res model, but as well, but it gives us an idea. Here's our snow overnight. Not as much as the GFS was showing, it appears like, but there is more mountain snow. overnight, and I think the radar was somewhat showing that. And then should come our Thursday system here. Here it comes. Now that is advertising a little bit more up here at Baker, and definitely some through here. Hey Matthew, glad to have you. Matthew runs Western Washington weather on YouTube. I think all of us have basically figured out that YouTube is a way to go on a lot of this live stream. So if you want to follow Matthew, he likes to live stream. I think he was up at Snoqualmie Pass today, if I remember. Yep, there he is. He just came back. And do you know how much snow Snoqualmie had up there? Do you have any guess? We figure about 13 inches at Stevens on the snowboard. A foot to 13 inches is what we saw on the stream here tonight. We went and looked at that, but I didn't take a look at Snoqualmie. But Matthew was up live streaming up there today, and he runs Western Washington weather. So again, another one that you can follow. There are some really good people that know what they're talking about, and channels in the Pacific Northwest. I think because we get a limited amount of crazy weather, I think that's why we're all like so into it. We just don't get a lot of chances at it, and so there are some really, really good channels, really good people that know what they're talking about here, that I would say, yep, follow them. Better than some of the meteorologists that I was seeing that were throwing these absolutely ridiculous snow maps for the Midwest and East and just crazy stuff. Anyway, we talked about that the other night. But Matthew's saying 5 to 8 inches when he left about 7:30 up there at Snoqualmie. So that's probably a little more than what I was. I mean, I know it was snowing for a while up there. Again, my niece came through there around 5:15, I believe. She was coming from Yakima home for Thanksgiving. So, and we were just at her place on Saturday as I made the trek over there for a football game. Okay, back to the Euro snow. Looks like Friday, we're kind of looking at the mountain passes as we come into the backside of the holiday weekend. Not seeing much at this moment for snow up there until maybe Saturday night into Sunday. And that's about as far as we're going to go on this tonight. So let me take a look at, I want to take wrong one, ski area. Let me take a look at the ski area on something. 1 second here. The ski area, and I want the ensemble. And the ski area, I just want to take a look. Okay, so they're saying 37 tomorrow as a high at the ski area. So it does appear that the snow levels will go up a little higher tomorrow. And I think we talked about that last night. And then borderline here, 35 and 29. I'm not sure about this 14 degrees, although it's possible. I think we are going to cool off. But, 34 degrees, that can come down. That can be snow, and it could, depending on the cold air and different things. But, 34 is close enough to saying, yes, that we can get some snow up there. Wouldn't take much to drop that temperature down and the snow levels down a little bit more. So you can kind of see this as a ski area. The total snow, man, this is backed off from what it was before. This is the 18Z, by the way. We don't have a 0Z ensemble out, but this is the ensemble of the Euro, and this is about 4 or 5 days ago. This was showing 50 inches. Now it's like average of 10. So anyway, yes, Keith is asking about the wind, and I just had opened that up. Let me take a look at that right now. I did not prepare that ahead of time, so let me quick do that. Hopefully you are able to see this without any issue. Let me pull up a wind gust map for Western Washington. Let me stop this loop a second. Let me just double check. Okay, I'm going to move it to the center. Hopefully you can see that just pretty good. We are looking at the 0Z tonight. Last night we messed that up. We were looking at a 12Z when I thought I was looking at 0Z, but this is Wednesday's, or basically late this afternoon's run, so you may not quite be able to see that, but it is true. That is what we are looking at. I'll lower it a little bit more. Okay, looks like we got some southerly winds down here as we come in late overnight. Nothing looks like too crazy. And then we have some northerlies, northeast, nothing too crazy into Wednesday. That's what we saw yesterday. A little bit more as we go tomorrow night, some outflow possibly. Nothing crazy, but that'll feel cold. More outflow, and again, the system that may have thought there was a possibility of it going up here, that low is probably more diving down here, and that's why the winds are more from the northeast again. We talked about that all last night, and to be honest, I can show you this again right here. Let's take a look at 0Z Euro tonight, and let's just see where this low goes tonight as we go into this. Is the Thanksgiving Day low. Let's see, is it coming? Here it comes. Here it is. It's a 1004 low, not anything too great, and it just kind of goes right toward the Columbia River and kind of dies out. So that's why the winds are from the north up here. You can see that. Again, I'm looking at the UW, and we could pull up that same thing for the UW, but it appears like the GFS is saying the same thing. So we got some northeast outflow on Thanksgiving Day. Nothing too crazy, although later Friday, that might kick up here a decent amount as we go into Friday. Just looking at this, kind of continues on even into Saturday at varying levels, and then we go kind of to this cool northerly flow back to some outflow. So main thing I'm seeing is northeast wind. So last thing we will do, and I'll double check for questions and answers or comments. And again, make sure you watch, like, and subscribe. Or is it subscribe, like, and watch? Or maybe you can do them all three at once on YouTube, and then a like, comment. The more comments you put in the chat, or the comments you put even after the live stream, even constructive criticism comments, we take those. But we need to get our watch hours up, and that's why I'm thinking about doing some live streaming. I don't know if some of you remember 2 years ago, my daughter and I, we did a Facebook live stream of Christmas lights, and it was like warm, and I wish it was snowing. But we were just talking about maybe doing that again and doing it on YouTube this year, and seeing if that would help us build some hours as well. But we found some cool Christmas lights. That was, as we go into December, so not until everybody has their Christmas lights up. But let me show you the forecast. Let's see if the forecast jives with what we just saw. So I'm going to pull up our forecast one here in just a second. And 1 second. Hopefully you can see the forecast now up here. I will start with Lyndon. We'll take a look at the forecast discussion for tonight. It should be out. I think you can see this up here. Okay, let me grab this. So they are saying chance of precip tonight, which is what we just said. Wednesday drying out overall. Some light northeast wind, east northeast. Okay, that jives with what we said. Wednesday night has some rain likely into Thanksgiving Day. Wednesday night not too much. High temp of maybe this will hit that, but today's high temp was nowhere close. I think the high temp today was like, I could go back and look at the live stream last night, but was it 46? And it got to maybe 42 here today. So we have rain on Thanksgiving Day and cooling off. And that's why they put a snowflake. That's just canned. Don't worry about this snowflake. I mean, could we see a snowflake in the air? Possibly. But, I mean, it's drying out. There's not a lot of precip even left on these snowflakes. So when we look at Thanksgiving Day, they're calling for a 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. That's not bad. Again, let's see, northeast wind. They're not really hyping up the northeast wind yet to being much at this point. Well, that's, Thanksgiving Day. But we'll keep an eye on this. This is often canned stuff. It's just kind of computer generated. 60% chance of rain on Thursday night, although they say little to no snow accumulation. And then Friday, slight chance of rain and snow. Yeah, right. We can see a flake maybe, but mostly sunny. Remember? We said Friday, Saturday, even Sunday. These all could be mostly dry days. 48, 47, and 46. Low temps, 33 on Saturday night, 35 on Sunday night. So, and then, back into the mid-40s. Well, I guess most of these, I'm wondering if some of these temps will be lowered. We'll see. but they're probably using the national blend of models on that. But I think overall we're seeing everything that is the same. Okay, warm front. I'm just reading the synopsis here of the AFD area forecast discussion. Here's our second round. Precipitation Wednesday afternoon to Thursday with some breezy conditions Thursday afternoon and evening. Let's take a look at what they're saying about that. They're talking about the snow levels rising. With the previously advertised threat of freezing rain in the Cascade Passes later tonight. Stevens and Snoqualmie 9 and 4 inches respectively when this was put out at 8:30. So Matthew talked about 5 to 8, so he's probably got that 5-6 inch mark pretty well right on. And then Stevens we saw they're up to about 12 or a foot. Wind won't be okay. So here we go. We're still on track to see another brief lull in precip during the daylight hours of Wednesday before another frontal system brings it in Wednesday into much of Thanksgiving. This system will be weakening as it arrives. We just saw that. So overall, wind won't be much of a concern. It will, however, keep easterly flow going in the Cascade Passes, which has a way of producing a wintry mess of conditions. So again, if you're traveling in the passes, always be prepared during this time of the year. Always. Always, always. Okay? Snow levels, let's see, the first of two systems over the next few days. So snow levels at around 2,500 feet this afternoon, and that helped get the snow in the mountains. Again, they're talking about freezing rain tonight at both Stevens and Snoqualmie as the warm air starts coming in aloft. Again, we talked about this also yesterday. A break in the day Wednesday. Yeah, we already saw that. Just trying to read if there's anything else. There's an increase in confidence in the low weakening as it approaches the coast, which is now trending somewhere from the northwest Oregon coast to the central Washington coast. And I just split the difference and said the Columbia River. Snow levels above 5,500 feet, as high as 7,000 on the system on Thanksgiving, Wednesday night to Thursday. And we kind of saw there wasn't a whole lot of snow in the mountains. It looked like in the lower elevation, So... Okay, not seeing a whole lot. Okay, the overall pattern will trend drier into Wednesday. Now, I want to look at Friday. Let's see, there's some uncertainty regarding the potential for a weak system late in the weekend. Yeah, I just said that. Euro and GFS were disagreeing on that. Would be a brush by at best, and yeah, not a huge amount. But drier conditions, a cooler Sunday morning into Monday, especially south of Puget Sound, dipping down to near freezing along the I-5 corridor. Okay. Depending on the northeast wind, that would also potentially keep us actually from not freezing in the outflow areas. Even though it would feel colder, that's an apparent temperature versus an actual temperature, and that mixing will keep it actually potentially a warmer, even though everybody thinks it's colder because the northeast wind feels cold. So, okay, let me answer questions, go through my normal stuff here as I end. And let's see if I can pull up a picture for you tonight. Let's see here. What can I bring up for tonight that you can watch? Hey, I'll put you back on the live weather cams in Leavenworth. How about that? So just a second. Let me open this and make sure. I don't think there's any sound anyway. Let me turn this on, and then I will... Okay. I will look at comments while you watch it snow in Leavenworth. There you go. Hopefully that doesn't cause any lag. Okay, I think I'm pretty well. People over here, Keith is talking about Fraser outflow. Jennifer mentioned that the low track weakens and it's more southerly. Matthew says, he always says, like, share, subscribe. Yeah, it's got to be something that, make it kind of roll off. The way we speak it. But the Fraser River outflow can be nasty. Fortunately, it doesn't look too serious. Yes, we can show you lots of videos about it, of the Fraser outflow being nasty. I got lots of those I could show you. Let me check the comments on the Facebook side. I had about a few good number of people over there earlier. So thank you for liking and appreciate the support as always. Okay, Muriel says 0.55 inches of rain and 41 degrees, 38 low at her house. I don't remember where she lives, but that's kind of what we were seeing as well. So not seeing a whole lot of other comments. Overall, other than the rain on off and on a little bit tomorrow, and then or maybe overnight, and then kind of a lull, and then more picking up later possibly, and then into Thanksgiving Day. Mountain Pass snow levels may go up eventually. Looks like we don't want it to go too high though. We don't want to lose the snowpack. We need more cold troughs and not big ridges. Nice to see Leavenworth getting snow, and some other the mountain passes. It's a good thing they're getting snow up at Snoqualmie and Stevens and elsewhere for sure. So White Pass, Blewett Pass looked like there was some snow. We definitely could use that. So okay, everyone, I think it's 10 o'clock. I think I'm going to call it a night. Thank you so very much for following, and really appreciate the support. Again, thank you, and we'll touch base with you. Not sure when the next one will be, but we'll keep an eye on things. Okay, have a great night, and thanks for supporting the page here at Whatcom County Weather. This is Randy Small signing off. Have a good night.